Willis's World, back with another one, this time with the Kunoichi's Awakening. Now, this rotation, I may have made it a little more complex than it needed to be, but I have a rotating rotation. So, I've got my filler, which is just holding F. You can put it on quick slot, but then if you hold 0, it will only cast it once, and you'll have to spam click it to use it. While if you just hold F, it will just keep on auto using it. So I would recommend just holding F for it. But the rotating rotation, what I'm meaning by that, is you've got two rotations that you're alternating between. This is one. What that will be doing is you'll have your dash into the target, your second skill places a bomb on the target, and then while this skill is doing damage through it and holding a bit of damage up there, the bomb goes off with this skill active for a lot of damage. But then the other rotation that you'll be using is 4 and 5. A kind of dash forward, spin into a spin. And then with the filler in there, it'll be that. So you'll want to dash in, do all of these skills, then hold filler until that number 3 slot is to 4 seconds, and then go into it. Okay, so 3 seconds actually. But, yeah. Joink. Oh, come on. Joink. 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 And then we go. And joink. 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 Then joink. Joink. But yeah, that's the rotation I use for Kunoichi Awakening. It it definitely gets the job done, and it does a lot of damage while it's at it. Plus, it has a decent heal in there. So your opener, your Dance Macabre, your dash into the target, does 4 hits to 10 targets, and on hits reduces movement speed and attack speed of targets on hits. So that's a 80% movement speed and attack speed reduction to each target that you're hitting. Gives invincible while invisible. What that is actually doing is while you're dashing, that moment that you're from here to here, it gives you invincible. And what invincible is doing is you're immune to all forms of CC and all forms of damage. So, yeah, having that in your engage is awesome. And it also gives you super armor for the parts that you're not invisible. You have no collisions while moving, so you can actually dash through a target into a new area. It does take a bit of lining up if you want to land on your target. But yeah, that's your entry skill. Your little bomb that you're placing is your Delighted Blast. Attack damage 3, lunar attack damage 1, lunar explosion attack damage 5. So basically your attack's doing 3 hits, the placement of your bomb is 1 hit, and then the bomb goes off for 5 hits. Guaranteed crit on the bomb placement. Accuracy rate plus 7%, lunar accuracy rate 50%, maximum 10 targets, floating on hits. So you're going from invincible straight to floating, and then it goes to knockdown on the explosion. So a lot of CC there on its own. And then it's going into Lunatic Discus, which is 14 hits with bleed on hits. those of you who have seen my Lawn Awakening guide know that bleed damage on hits, if you add on bleed damage to it, it increases the amount of bleed it does on hit to a lot. And then it does knockdown in PvP and spin the target on PvE. You got Moonstorm, which is 4 hits on it, and then that extra hit that is the slam down. That slam down is 7 hits. Guaranteed crit in PvE, 40% crit in PvP, accuracy rate 11%, super armor during skill, down attack. Which, yeah, it's pretty nice. And then it's going into Lethal Spin Spree. 20 hits to 10 targets for 50 HP per hit. With super armor and stiffness on attack 1 in PvE only, and stun on attack 3 in PvE only. And as down attack as well. Then your filler skill is Chain Crash Saw Chakram. It is a 9-hit ability, available during cooldown, hits 10 targets, crit hit damage plus 5% for 10 seconds when using skill, and you recover resource on hits. And it actually uses your stamina rather than your resource to use. Now, on its 12-second cooldown, when it is actually off of that cooldown, is when the crit damage boost will be applied, and when it will stun targets in any game mode and pull in targets in PvE. So yeah, basically, you're holding F, and when it's off of cooldown, and you're in a big group of enemies, it will pull all of those enemies to you. I'll show you over here. If you see how he's getting pulled to me, well, he had been. When it's off of cooldown, you can kind of use that to just pull them to you, like that, and make it so that they're all in range of your spin here. And then your spin pulls them in further. So, yeah. Kunoichi Awakening, I feel, is a lot better than its succession. Honestly, with a few of these succession kits that I'm looking at, a lot of them feel a lot more efficient now that I've tried out the Musa's succession. That passive changes everything for succession on him. Because going from that to Meiwa's succession, I had high hopes for Meiwa. But Meiwa's lack of that passive made her succession so much worse than Musa. But yeah, that is the Kunoichi Awakening, and Willis's World signing out.